Good afternoon. This video is not about metal detecting or digging, but it is about history. It is about film history. I just did a tour of the Capitol Theater in Chambersburg. It's an old theater. It was built in 1927 after the Great War, World War I, for those of you who don't know. And it was a big deal. It was a huge deal. It was one of the first theaters built in America. Not the first theater, but one of them. And in Chambersburg, of all places. But it survived for a long time. There's been a couple times where it was going to be shut down. It's been bought out. It's changed owners multiple times. Even the Bureau of Chambersburg owned it at one time. But it's just a historic theater in Chambersburg, and it's been like in every old photo. I'll post some of the old photos. You see the Capitol Theater, and you see the sign for it. It's just iconic. That's the word I was looking for, iconic. So be excited. Watch my video. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Mainly to go out.
Okay, so we're standing in the newest part of the facility. This was redone, I think, somewhere in the very early 2000s. I could have my dates wrong, but at that time, the theater was operated by the Chamber of Commerce with the idea that they would help it along for several years until then it was operating, at a level where a board could take it over and run it independently of the Chamber of Commerce, and that's what we've been doing for about 15 years now. The original part of the building, this is the historic part of the building. You see when we go downstairs, these gold gilt, whatever you call them, signs. There's a couple of them down here. This men's room is now storage. Mm-hmm. So, the mural was painted over. When we go into the theater, we'll show you the design that's in the front of the balcony. That's the design that was here. When it got repainted, I don't know. No one knows who painted it, or no one can remember who painted it, because whoever did paint it never signed it. So it's a bit of a mystery. We also have been doing paranormal investigations now.
That's what I was going to ask. So what he was just saying is that the crystals on these lights,
what's that?
One will shake and the rest won't, so paranormal.
LED one while we were doing the renovation. So now we have three really, really powerful spotlights, or follow spots.
So I read it, the actual theater is from the 20s?
Yes, we opened February 3rd, 1927, originally a silent movie house. The first movie ever shown was called The Waning Sex with Norma Shearer, and I believe she's the one who married Irving Thalberg, I believe.
Who's that?
Irving Thalberg was a huge Hollywood producer at MGM. He was basically second to Louis B. Mayer. And he died suddenly very young. I think he was about 37 when he died, and took a lot of people's careers with them, or a lot of people thought their career was going to be over when that happened. Mm-hmm. Or carbon arc weld projectors. So the light here in, was not a bulb, so it was probably a bit intense. These were in operation till at least 1989. If you look here behind you, we have this really cool electric. Yes, it reminds me of Frankenstein every time I look at it. But like you see here, you got Wilfred Binder, who was the organist from 2/3/27 until 44. Mm-hmm. His spirit is here. We know that for a fact. But you can see over here, there are, all the way through 79, actually. There are projectionists that were here all the way through 79.
That is great.
I met... Oh, good.
That's so cool.
Maybe. I keep getting these dates all mixed up, but this part of the ceiling over here collapsed.
I saw that.
Okay. And I guess I thought at first there wasn't a show, but evidently there was a show going on, but no one was really hurt.
I think it was a
few
kids
people-
children's play or something like
something.
that, or for school.
But so they did have to shut down, I think, for about 6. This little structure that helped protect it is called the garage. Fly system, as you can see. We have the biggest movie screen in Chambersburg, at least at the time being. I think I've heard there's a AMC or someone is supposed to be building a movie theater. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. That at some point, I don't know about the whole time he was here, but at some point, this room was evidently occupied by Wilfred Binder. And one of the sensitives in the paranormal group that we work with is a female. And she started to go into the room, and he stopped her and he said, "I'm sorry." Of the front of it, but basically it gets jacked up, and then they have to put sawhorses underneath it to hold it there. Ideally it would be automated, but that's just not going to happen. That's